Thank you.
We're going to shift now to the Facebook whistleblower who released tens of thousands of pages of internal documents calling on Congress to take action against the social media giant. In blistering testimony before a Senate subcommittee yesterday, Frances Haugen said the company was aware of a number of problems. One of the big issues of this hearing, how Facebook and Instagram negatively impact kids. The Wall Street Journal suggesting today that Facebook should empower parents and not censor free speech. Here's what Congressman Ken Buck said on our broadcast last night about what he wants to see from Facebook.
Well, first, I'd like to hear an apology. I'd like to hear a recognition that even their own research indicated that they were harming people and they kept doing it. They put profit over people. And while, our capitalist system values profit, we have to make sure that we don't allow a company to hurt people in the process. If a car maker produced a car that was as dangerous as Facebook, that car maker would have a major recall right now, and Facebook has got to go through the process of improving itself at the same time that Congress improves the marketplace.
Here to talk more about this is our friend and host of the Rubin Report, the author of the book, Don't Burn This Book. Dave Rubin is with us. There's a lot to chew on here, Dave. It's good to have you back. My first question for you is, if you had a 14-year-old and you watched that hearing yesterday, would you let them on Facebook or Instagram?
Probably not. But interestingly, there wasn't that much said yesterday that we don't just all intuitively know. We all have these apps, Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and whatever else there is. And just think about it for yourself. Anyone watching this, are you happier when you are in those apps versus when you're in the real world? And the answer pretty much always is no. That's not to say they don't have any value, and that's not to say that I don't have some of these things, obviously. But at the same time, we know they're making us more polarized. We know that they're fraying our attention. We know that what it's doing to our political discourse and everything else. What I thought was most interesting about the hearing yesterday was not that the algorithms are manipulating us or not that we're all veering off to our own political sides. It actually was that sort of halfway through the hearing, she started becoming more of an advocate for government intervention rather than just being a whistleblower. Those are two totally different things. A whistleblower is exposing, what she believes to be the corruption or the bad business practices of Facebook. But suddenly halfway through, she was sort of saying, hey, government, you guys got to do something about this. That's much more of an activist position. And I think that was where the hearing sort of turned a bit.
Well, it's interesting because even Mark Zuckerberg said that. We have his statement from today. He wanted to wait until both of these hearings, most recently this one yesterday, were over. But he essentially said in his statement, many of the claims don't make any sense. I think most of us just don't recognize the false picture of the company that's being painted. Is that denial in your opinion and not the river in Egypt? But but he did admit, though, that he thought there needed to be changes to government regulations, Dave.
Right. So he also issued a statement saying, actually, we do a lot related to her specific concerns. Now, we can either say you're doing that or you're not doing it or it's not enough or whatever else. That's sort of separate. At some degree, I said this on my show this morning, I'm slightly sympathetic to Zuckerberg in that no one knew what they were creating when we created these things. When these Silicon Valley guys created this, Zuckerberg, if anyone's seen the movie, The Social Network,
sure.
I mean, he wanted to meet girls. That's what happened. Next thing you know, he's basically the most powerful person on earth. So I have a little bit of sympathy there. That's not to defend all of their business practices or what they're doing algorithmically or anything else. But if the result of the hearing is that the government is now going to come in and tell Facebook what they can and can't do, well, then I think we just made a big problem, a much bigger problem. So to that end, I'm somewhat sympathetic with Zuckerberg.
All right, well, we'll see where it goes. Dave Rubin, again, it's good to have you as always. Take care, my friend.
Good to see you, Joe.